Welcome to CHEM 1061, a general chemistry course. This series of slides are prepared so that it will help you navigate through an amazing amount of material that could be overwhelming at first, understand how to use our textbook, which is shown here, how to use the resources that we have online, such as Alex, the Moodle site, and CHIME In, and how to look for help outside the classroom. So let's begin by looking at 5 specific topics that I would like you to know how to use throughout this semester. We're going to talk about topics covered in the course, homework, review of difficult topics that you consider more important to learn or essential for you to learn, practice solving problems, and help outside the classroom. So let's begin by exploring and expanding on topics covered in the course. So the first thing to consider when you are looking at the material that we have in this course is to understand that not everything that is presented in the textbook will be included in the classroom's lectures. So we are interested in defining what are the materials that will be covered, and this usually would be given in the first page of the lecture notes that I will be regularly posting in the Moodle site prior to each lecture. Second, once you attend the lectures, it's important to pay attention to the material that is emphasized throughout the lecture. Again, some of that information is essential to establish a background, but some of that information is going to be more critical for the assessments that will come later in the semester. It's going to be very important to find guides that will help you prioritize the material that you would like to study later on in the course. So it's highly advisable that even before you read the entire sections, that you read the summary of the section in the textbook so that you understand what's going to be the essential component of that section. What is the material that you're going to want to learn from that particular section? Something that is important to do as well is to track the topics covered, learned, and to be learned in the course. And one way to do that is to use the chapter review guide in the textbook, which is found at the end of each chapter. This chapter review guide has 3 sections. One is a learning objectives section, key terms section, and key equations and relations section. You may create a checklist that you will use to identify the material that you have learned, the material that is more difficult, and the material that you still need to learn as we navigate through the different chapters in the textbook. So now we're going to see how we can actually complement what we are learning in the lectures and reading the textbook using other resources such as homework resources. All the homework that you will have to do for this course is going to be done through the Alex system. At this point in the course, you probably have registered for Alex. You have taken the initial check test, and you are probably working on the first homeworks. It's very important to do the homework prior to the lectures because that helps you understand what are the areas that you will need to pay more attention to. If you finish a homework ahead of schedule, make sure that you review topics that have been difficult in the past. This is not so essential for the first week, but as we move into the more advanced topics in the course, you will have areas that you may have not covered previously. So during these so-called open pipe periods, you should be able to go back and review those topics that you have not been able to master or to learn previously. Every other week, Alex will surprise you with an assessment, and this assessment will help you understand if there are some topics that you still need to relearn or study again. So those are topics that are very important, again, to review on your OpenPy time or by looking at the textbook. It is very important to do the Alex homework alone. That is, if you decide to work with somebody on this, you will not be able to assimilate all the information that is required, and Alex may send you on the wrong track, which will make it more difficult. Alex is a smart system that allows you to navigate based on your background knowledge and your ability to learn. So let's move on from homework to what to do when you find that topics are more difficult. And it's very likely that you will find that some topics are extremely easy for you and some topics are going to be more challenging. So when you find difficult topics, first you have to identify where you find this, how to define what a difficult topic will be. That may come from lecture explanations that are unclear to you, or it might be when you are working with Alex that some topics were not easy to master or easy to learn. Or it may come from practice exercises that we will talk about later on, that were done either in class or were done in the textbook. So whatever source you use to identify the difficult topics, it's going to be important that you give priority to reviewing those topics. You may use the lecture notes. You may use the lecture notes to go back to the sections in the textbook where those topics are covered. Or you may use the Alex OpenPy time to review those topics. Whatever your learning style is, you may find a solution that can help you prioritize those topics as you decide to review them. One key component of this course is the ability to solve numerical problems and chemical problems. So during the lectures, we will be solving some problems. We don't have enough time to do a lot of them. So it's going to be very important to do a little bit on your own. My suggestion is to any problem that is solved in class that you go back and you try to solve it without looking at the solution. That's the first step to master a new topic. The second one is there's going to be in-class questions and problems. This is usually counted towards in-class participation. We will be using a CHEM system in which you will be using either your cell phone, your tablet, or your computer to post an answer that then will be discussed in class. Again, the time that will be allowed for doing this type of exercises will be similar to the time that you may have in an exam to solve such problems. At the end of each chapter, there is a series of problems. We don't have time to solve all those problems, and it will be illogical to ask you to solve them as well. So I prepare a list of suggested problems that is found in the Moodle site. You may want to browse through these problems and identify those that are more difficult to you based on your list of difficulty problems and attempt to solve those problems first. It's also important to look at other ways to solve problems. It is common that when the date of an exam is getting closer, that I will be posting in the Moodle site all the exams. The idea of these exams is not necessarily to study material, but to learn a strategy of how to answer efficiently multiple choice questions and open-ended questions that will likely be appearing in the midterms that you will be taking throughout this semester. So now that you have seen some of the key ideas on how to solve problems, on how to study, how to do homework, how to prioritize, there still might be a room for additional help. For additional help, the first line of getting that help is office hours. I will be holding office hours about twice a week. They will be in my office. The information is in the Moodle site and in the syllabus. And you may come and drop by to discuss clarification on concepts that were unclear to you, work on difficult problems that you have identified as you work on the course material, or get answers or discuss solutions to problems that may be unclear to you. Office hours are also useful to discuss other aspects related to learning in this course, such as learning styles or areas that could be improved for you to be successful in the course. In addition to my office hours, the chemistry department has a dedicated TA room in 124 Smith Hall. This is a free resource. Take advantage of that. It's open 5 days a week. You may check the schedule in front of the room, and there is always staff there, students that will help you study for this course. In addition to that, the university has a peer-assisted learning system that will be offering a session once a week. Feel free to take advantage of that. I also agree that some of these particular resources might not be the right ones for you. So it's up to you to discover which ones work best for you. Lastly, I encourage you to look at these resources and try to plan a strategy for studying for this course early in the semester. That way, it's possible to make adjustments as needed, and this will guarantee that you successfully complete this course. Welcome to CHEM 1061.